You're listening to HV Rebel Country. I'm Rett Russell, and I'm a solo artist from Oxfordshire in the UK.
Very nice.
You're in Poughkeepsie, I believe, are you?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, I've actually got a local connection to Poughkeepsie because my late uncle used to live there, and I spent some time there when I was a teenager, so I do know it.
Wow, yes. And we right now are based out of Ulster County, which is probably about a half hour from Poughkeepsie.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, small world.
So what artist or group was your biggest musical influence?
I suppose it's all sorts of sort of country sort of music through the years, really. Back from the 90s, it was people like Dwight Yoakam and Hank Williams Jr. and so on that really got me into country music in the first place, and really everybody since then through to people like Jay Severett, people like Toby Keith, and so on. More sort of the rockin' side of country, I suppose, a little bit more, and I suppose that's reflected in the stuff I do today.
Well, those are all great names. So how did you become involved in country music? What kind of music do you remember being around the most? I suppose going way back, it was probably the end of the sort of punk revolution, the 80s that got me into playing music, I suppose. So that's kind of that was the music that started me off playing. But once I was playing in bands, it was blues, it was country, it was stuff. When I used to when you go and meet great musicians and stuff like that, they introduce you to new music, and as I say, that's how I got into country, really. Just by meeting musicians who played it and who listened to it and say, "Have you heard this? Have you got this CD? Have you got this cassette?" Back in those days, and it grew from there. So, what do you think makes your music different from others in the country music?
I try to write, from my own experiences and stuff like that. It's, being a UK country music artist, you don't really want to be writing about stuff from the Midwest or Far West that, is thousands of miles away from your home and your day-to-day experiences. So, most of the songs, they've got a personal connection, or they're about stories close to home. So, the current single, Fort San Antone, sounds very very Western in influence, but it's actually about a day trip to a country music club in the north of England, which happens to be called Fort San Antone. And the story of the song is about having too much drink and too much fun, as we all do from time to time, but in the context of a great country music weekend.
Well, it's great to hear country music is over in the UK as well.
Yeah, country music's everywhere in the UK and in Europe as well. I think people tend not to realise how big it is, in Europe and particularly in Scandinavia. So it travels all around the world, and I suppose the power of the internet only makes that even easier these days.
It does. Thank you for the internet now, right? So if you could perform with any artist, who would it be and why?
Oh, who would it be and why? I don't know, maybe somebody like Brad Paisley, or somebody who can really, sort of rock the guitar, and maybe John Mayer, or somebody like that. Somebody who's going to blow you away, I suppose, when they're standing alongside you. But yeah, definitely I like my country guitar, and so maybe somebody like that. Yeah.
Well, Brad definitely rocks that guitar, so that's a good choice. Yeah. So, as an artist, how would you define success? Having people like what you do, and coming to listen to you, being able to go out and play gigs, and bring smiles to people's faces with what you do, and the same with your records. Sell a few records, getting feedback from people is lovely. Being able to write songs about stuff that you know and things you've experienced, and be able to relate those stories to people. That's to me what it's all about. It's about getting up on that stage or playing your songs and recording them, and seeing other people smile. It doesn't really matter how many people. It can be a dozen, 2 dozen people in a bar or something like that, or even it can be like playing a song to friends around your house and so on, or it can be a larger gig on a big stage. It's the same feeling, really. It's the same feeling of doing what you do, doing it well, and have people enjoy it. Well, that's a great answer. So have you had any crazy fans that you've had to deal with?
Quite a few odd ones, shall we say. Really crazy. I don't know. Yeah, they probably think I'm crazy more than anything else. But, yeah. No, it's just really nice when people come up and take an interest in your music and say, "Oh, I really like that song," or ask about the story behind the song, and I suppose that's the nicest thing about it. But yeah, whether they're crazy or I'm crazy, I don't know.
Somebody's crazy somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, do you have an embarrassing story or a moment or anything like that on stage?
I think that the most embarrassing ones are almost always to do with musical equipment failures. You know, standing there and something goes wrong, and of course, you know, it doesn't really matter what goes wrong. You've got to make it to the end of the song, got to make it to the end of the gig. So when your guitar cuts out because you forgot to change the battery in the microphone in it, or something like that, or and so on, and you know there's something going wrong. Maybe the audience haven't quite worked out what's gone wrong.
You just keep going.
Lots of little things like that. But, you know, touch wood, I haven't fallen off a stage or broken a leg or anything like that.
Well, that's a good thing.
So far, but, you know, there's time yet.
Yeah. So do you have any other talents or interests?
Quite a lot, really. I suppose, you know, I'm into you know, all the sorts of things boys are into, you know, cars, you play a bit of golf and music, you know, other people's music's a big part of my life, and going out enjoying other people's company, watching live music. So, yeah, it keeps me busy, one way or another, keeps me busy.
Very good. So do you have a website? If so, what is it?
I do. My website is rettrussell.com. That's RETTRUSSELL.com. And on it you can find all my music. You can find, you know, links to the gigs I'm playing here in the UK, videos of acoustic numbers and interviews with me, and pretty much everything you need to know about me.
Well, that's great. That way the fans can find out more information about you and where you'll be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I have a Facebook page as well, which is just Rett Russell. And you should be able to find it pretty easily. But please, if you like my music, come along and like that, and then you'll get updated with what I'm up to. I promise you, I'm not one of those obsessive posters that post everything every 2 minutes, but you certainly will find out, you know, what I'm up to.
You're also on Twitter as well, right?
No, I'm not on Twitter. Actually, I haven't got around to that modern technology that I probably should do.
There's so much of it out there.
With Twitter, you have to have something sort of interesting to say about, you know, the world around you, and I'll stick to my music and
there you go.
And say it through my songs.
Well, I do want to thank you for taking time out to do this interview with us, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon, hopefully with positive growth and success.
Yeah, no, very much so. Love to keep in touch, and thanks very much for having me. It's great to speak to you.
Oh, so, you know, it's great to hear, like I said, country music in England. I think it's awesome that it's all around the world like it is.
Yeah, no, it is. I think country music's very much on an upswing, you know, in the UK at the moment. There's a lot of interest, a lot of good acts. We've got a couple that, you know, are really sort of making it. You know, bands like the Shires and Ward Thomas and so on that you may have heard of, that, you know, are even, you know, coming over to the States now and making it. But of course, you know, we welcome everybody, you know, over to the UK. You're listening to HV Rebel Country. I'm Rett Russell, and thanks for checking me out on Artist Spotlight.